All right, let's just get right into it. There's this feeling that I think a lot of us are familiar with, right? Rent just keeps going up. Owning a home feels, well, almost impossible, and the cost of everything just feels heavier and heavier. But here's an idea. What if those exact same pressures are creating a sort of modern-day gold rush? What if they're quietly opening up doors to some incredible opportunities in American cities you might have completely overlooked? This quote, it hits the nail on the head. It's that feeling of being boxed in, like you're working so hard, but the goalposts just keep moving further and further away. And that's not just a feeling, it's a reality for thousands of people all across the country. So if all the old familiar paths are feeling more and more blocked off, the big question is, where are the new ones? Where are the places that actually offer a real shot at affordability, a good career, and a genuinely better quality of life? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. Okay, so let's be clear about something. This is not a story about retreat. Not at all. While a lot of people feel kind of stuck, thousands of others, we're talking families, young professionals, remote workers, they're already making some really smart strategic moves. They're not just running from expensive cities, they're running to places where their life and their money can go a whole lot further. And that's what we're calling the modern gold rush. It's not about digging for actual gold, of course. It's about finding something that feels way more valuable today. A place where you can actually build a career, raise a family, and enjoy your life without feeling like you're constantly being squeezed by finances. So, what do these new hubs of opportunity even look like? Well, the interesting thing is, they don't all look the same at all. In fact, the diversity is what's so cool about this trend. You've got opportunity popping up literally everywhere, from the Pacific Northwest to the Midwest and deep down into the South. Okay, just look at this quick snapshot. You've got Spokane, Washington, with that amazing Pacific Northwest vibe, but a median home price around 420 grand. That's almost half of what you'd pay in Seattle. Then there's Columbus, Ohio, a booming tech and logistics center where a typical home is under 300,000. Or how about Fort Worth? You get the huge Texas economy, this really unique culture, and homes around 310,000. Three completely different places, all offering a different kind of opportunity. Now, those cities are great examples, for sure. But the story gets even more fascinating when you start to look past the places that are already kind of on people's radar. Some of the biggest game changers are cities that have been quietly reinventing themselves for years. For instance, take Huntsville, Alabama. I know, for a lot of people, that's not the first city that jumps to mind, but its story is a perfect case study here. It's always been known for its NASA roots, right? But it's quietly used that legacy to become this powerhouse in aerospace, defense, and high tech. I mean, they don't call it Rocket City for nothing. And this right here, this is the magic formula that makes a city like Huntsville so attractive. You have this flood of really high-paying jobs for scientists and engineers, thanks to places like NASA. And that pushes the average income way above the rest of the country. But at the same time, the cost of living is still 11% below the national average. That gap, that combo of high pay and low costs, that is the financial sweet spot so many people are looking for. So Huntsville is a fantastic example of this trend. But there's one city that, based on all the data, kind of perfects the formula. It just balances everything: affordability, jobs, lifestyle, in a way that makes it truly stand out. So, which city actually pulls all these different pieces together better than anywhere else? And I'll give you a hint, it is probably not the city you're thinking of right now. It's not Austin, with its famous music and tech scene. It's not Denver, with those incredible mountains. And it's not even Charlotte, which is the country's second biggest banking center. All of those cities rank really high, but one place managed to beat them all. The number one city is Tampa, Florida. Yeah? Surprised? A lot of people are. But Tampa has been quietly and consistently turning itself into one of the most balanced, opportunity-rich, and just plain livable cities in the entire country. Just look at this comparison. This really puts the financial power of a move like this into perspective. You can live in a really cool coastal city where the median home price is under $400,000. Now compare that to, say, Seattle, where it's over $800,000. And just like Washington, Florida has zero state income tax. That means that huge difference in housing costs goes right into your pocket. So why Tampa? Well, in the end, it just delivers across the board. You've got that huge financial edge with no state income tax. The job market is absolutely on fire, pulling in huge financial firms and growing a really exciting tech scene.
The quality of life is, come on, it's undeniable with the weather and the beaches. And, this is key, the city is still growing. Billions are being invested in new development. It's a city that's really on the move.
Okay, so we've looked at all this data from Huntsville to Tampa, and it's easy to get focused on the rankings. But the whole point here isn't just to hand you a list. It's to give you a whole new way of thinking about your own future. Because here's the truth. The number one best city doesn't really exist. The best city is the one that actually fits your priorities. Maybe for you that means being close to family, or maybe it's having access to the mountains, or living in a place with a very specific kind of energy. The cities we talked about today, they're just examples of what's out there when you start looking beyond the obvious places. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. This isn't just about what you can gain by moving. It's also about what you're willing to trade. Are you willing to trade a brutal winter for a lower cost of living, or maybe a super long commute for a much bigger house? Answering that question for yourself, that's the real first step to finding your own modern gold rush.